Hello, this is Brian J signing on, and in this video I'm going to debunk a really good friend of mine who I've known for a few years now. His name is Berto Selig. I can't really pronounce his last name, but he's a friend of mine, and he is a Shevchenko hater. He's also an Antonina Shevchenko hater, and I'm going to be debunking some of his points in this video tonight before I go see the Deontay Wilder fight, and then I'm going to make my Wilder Fury prediction. But let's go on to Facebook, which is where I'm usually at, debating about fights and other topics, movies and stuff like that, and celebrities, politics as well. So here, I'm right here on Facebook. Okay, here's Berto saying Mackenzie Dern is better. At least she knocks people out. Yeah, Mackenzie Dern knocked out Amanda Bobby Cooper because Amanda Bobby Cooper is such an amazing elite fighter. She's so much better than Antonina Shevchenko. Yeah, okay. You clearly forgot, Berto, that Mackenzie Dern got dominated on the feet by Ashley Yoder. And is Ashley Yoder on the level of Antonina Shevchenko? No. Is she as big as Antonina Shevchenko? No. And I think Mackenzie Dern is about the same size as Antonina. And Antonina is bigger and stronger than Ashley Yoder. And Ashley Yoder was able to defend against multiple takedown attempts from Mackenzie Dern in the first two rounds. And Ashley Yoder was piecing her on the feet and busting her up. So what do you think Antonina Shevchenko is going to do, who is a southpaw? Who has a really good left hand, who's very accurate with his strikes, landed over 62% of her strikes against Kim, something that I don't think any other fighter's been able to do against Kim. And Kim is a much better technical striker than Amanda Bobby Cooper by far. And I don't even think Amanda Bobby Cooper would be able to compete against Kim, because Amanda Bobby Cooper is just not that good of a fighter. Even Mackenzie Dern admitted that, which is why Mackenzie Dern didn't even train to fight Amanda Cooper. Didn't even bother to cut any weight or to get any workouts in, because she knew it would be an easy fight. So I'll give you this, Berto. Mackenzie Dern has a higher fight IQ than people give her credit for. Now, of course, I say that Antonina will wash Mackenzie. And I also point out that Mackenzie lost to Ashley Yoder. But here's Berto saying Antonina is bad at fighting. See, that type of statement is a generalized statement that doesn't make any sense. You cannot say that Antonina is bad at fighting, and you will actually be debunked by the facts that Antonina Shevchenko is a multiple world champion at Muay Thai and K1. She's an 11-time world champion. She has over 39 victories in Muay Thai, which, I mean, in women's Muay Thai, that is very hard to do. It is very hard to get almost 40 victories in women's Muay Thai. She only has one loss in women's Muay Thai, and she's a multiple world champion. A world champion. That is really tough to do. And women's Muay Thai has evolved greatly in the last 5 or 6 years, just like women's MMA. Women's boxing is still kind of stagnant. Like, women's boxing still isn't really that good, but it's getting better because women's boxing is getting more attention, and they're getting more money. They're getting more notoriety, more sponsors. So women's boxing could get better in the next 5 years, but women's boxing doesn't have the finesse or the type of skill set that women's MMA and Muay Thai has. Women's MMA has a certain beauty and finesse that a lot of men's MMA fighters have, and same with men's Muay Thai. But saying Antonina is bad at fighting is not true. You can say that Antonina isn't great at MMA because she's still learning, she's still working on it. She hasn't done MMA in a long time. She's mostly done Muay Thai, and she's getting back into it. And she does have a decent ground game, but it's just not that great. I admit that she does make mistakes. She lets her right hand lay on the ground for too long. She lets her opponents get wrist control way too often. But she's showing such good defense with her left hand and her left side that her opponents can't really do anything with her free hand so far. So you could say that she hasn't really fought a really good or great BJJ black belt, but do you think that Mackenzie Dern could do any better? Do you think Mackenzie Dern could get her down on the ground? Do you think Mackenzie Dern has good wrestling, good takedown offense? I don't think she does. She barely took down Ashley Yoder, and she lost that fight. And I don't think she's going to take down Antonina, who's going to be naturally bigger and stronger than she is. And you really think Mackenzie Dern's wild right hand is going to connect on Antonina's face? Keep dreaming that. Keep dreaming that, Berto. Keep dreaming. Antonina is bad at fighting. No, you should say that she's probably bad at MMA. That I can understand, even though I would disagree with that. But saying she's bad at fighting is bullshit. She is a multiple world champion in Muay Thai. And you see how accurate she is and how great she is with her defense in MMA. How she's able to move her head off the center line and keep her head to the left of her shoulder, to the left side, to avoid right hands, and counter with an overhand left, and counter with a jab and a 1-2. Sometimes when Kim was throwing a right hand, Antonina would counter with a check right hook, and then Kim would throw the right hand, Antonina would duck that, and then she would hit her with a 1-2. She would land a 3-punch combination. At one point, Antonina landed a 4-punch combination on Kim. That is really, really hard to do. Other strikers couldn't do that against Kim, and Antonina did it at will. Antonina did it at will. Okay, so I point out that she hasn't been touched, called you an idiot, which you are being kind of a troll and an idiot. And you say Kim is trash. First of all, Kim was, I think, 7-1. And she beat some decent fighters. Not great fighters. And she's also not a great fighter. But she beat some decent fighters. And Keish isn't that good, but she's really strong and she hits really hard. And Melinda Fabian is a champion in, I think, kickboxing and Muay Thai. So she's not a slouch. She's not a walkover, you know? And Kim managed to get a split decision against her, but no one's had an easy time against Kim. Antonina Shevchenko is the only fighter to have a really easy time against Kim. And you say Antonina boringly outpointed her. That's actually what makes Antonina such a great fighter, that she's able to make a fight so tedious and so slow at times that she forces her opponent to fight her fight, and they can't keep up with her pace. If you want Antonina Shevchenko to fight an exciting fight, you have to force her to fight an exciting fight. Just like with Floyd Mayweather. You cannot blame Floyd Mayweather Jr. for having boring fights. You have to blame his opponents for not forcing him to have an exciting fight. That's his opponent's fault, not Floyd's fault. Same with Antonina Shevchenko. If the fight is tedious, that's not her fault. That's her opponent's fault for not forcing her to fight an exciting fight, for not pushing her over the edge. And Valentina Shevchenko fought like that at 135 because she was fighting women that outweighed her by 15 or 20 pounds. At flyweight, Valentina's going to be more offensive and she's going to make you want easy work. And I know you don't think that, but when it happens, I'm gonna so make fun of you. I'm gonna so make fun of you when Valentina, if she knocks out Joanna or takes her down like 10 or 12 times, it's going to be hilarious. So, of course, I made all these points that I'm making in the video. I point out that Antonina is 39-1 in women's Muay Thai, multiple world champion Muay Thai K1, which is not bad fighting, obviously. Yeah, I mean, and you're easy to debunk, definitely on this. I said that. And she also did an excellent job of neutralizing Kim's punches. You know, same points that I made. And then you point out Kim's last 4 fights, which I point out to you were not bad fighters. The fighters that she beat, some of them I think had winning records, which isn't bad. You know, it's hard to go 7-1 in MMA. Okay? It's really hard to do that. It's hard to get 10 or 20 victories in women's MMA and in men's MMA. So, yeah, you're saying, but those are not good fighters, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah. I blocked you because you were being a troll. Now I've unblocked you, and I decided to make this video debunking your points. So, yeah, Berto. You're definitely a Shevchenko hater. I understand that you hate women's MMA. You don't respect it, that you just love women who are beautiful. You're clearly not a fan of women's MMA. But what you don't understand is that women's MMA really started to get started around 2006, 2007. That's when the ball really started to roll. And men's MMA back in the 90s used to be mostly trash. You just have guys that were good at only one thing and guys that were good at nothing. And by the mid-2000s, that's when you start seeing men's MMA really start to evolve very quickly. And by the late 2000s, early 2010s, now you got great fighters that are great at everything. Women's MMA has really only been going strong for about 12 years. So let's see. In 5 years, you're going to be getting a lot more women are going to be really good or great at every little thing. So I feel like you're just overly critical of women's MMA when it's still growing and it's still evolving. It just became super popular because of Ronda Rousey in the last 6 years. So really, this has been the big phenomenon in the last 6 years of women's MMA. So you can only imagine what women's MMA is going to be like in the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to get better, bro. So, yeah, had to make this video to debunk Berto, and I hope some of the people on my channel will also point out even more things to debunk here with these mute points, these idiotic points made by Berto on Facebook. So, all right. This is my debunk video of Berto's points. This is Brian J. signing off for now.